For utensils and equipment, you will need 1 cup of water, a trivet, a pot with a lid or tin foil to cover the pot. It needs to be a pot or pan that is oven proof. You will also need to spray that pot or pan, so ensure that you have some cooking spray or butter or oil to lubricate it. You will need some potatoes, either cooked or raw. I'll talk later about how to use the raw. A handful of spinach, fresh or frozen and drained. 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of cooked sausage and a few slices of bacon, cooked. 6 eggs. 1 cup of grated cheese. You can also use cheese slices if that's what you have. Salt and pepper, and 1/2 cup, either milk, cream, or a milk alternative. I'm actually using a 1/2 and 1/2 here. Add your water to your Instant Pot. Make sure your pot is sprayed. Put your trivet inside of your Instant Pot. I'm also using a sling here to make it easier to get out. And now for the potatoes. It might be a couple of cups, but it really depends on how thick you want on the bottom. So I have these left over from my Instant Pot smothered pork chops. So I'm smashing them inside the bag, and then I'm going to spread them around and make essentially a crust from the potatoes. If you're using raw potatoes, just slice them with a slicer or with a knife, but make sure they're very thinly sliced, sort of like you would be making scalloped potatoes. Another thing you can use here would be mashed potatoes or hash browns. Next, put some salt and pepper on your potatoes. And that's really the only place that I'm going to add it, because there's going to be lots of salt and pepper from the cheese and the sausage and the bacon, and you can always add more later. Next, take your spinach and lay it on top of the potatoes. Just spread it all around and push it down a little bit. Once you've done that, grab your sausage meat that you've already cooked up and sprinkle it over top of the spinach. Now take your bacon and cut it up into small pieces so that you can distribute it around over top of the sausage. And this is what it should look like. Now take your 1 cup of shredded cheese and sprinkle it on top, or if you're using cheese slices, put those on top. Let's just make sure that the entire mixture is covered with cheese now. And now we need to take care of the eggs. Crack your eggs into the bowl. Once you've done that, you're going to need to add in the cream or milk or alternative milk, and then you're going to whisk it all together. Once you're finished whisking, evenly pour your egg and milk mixture over top of the cheese. Press it down a little bit to make sure that everything gets immersed into the liquid. This will puff up once it's done though. Cover your casserole with a lid or tin foil, and if you're using tin foil, make sure it's tightly secured around the sides. We do not want to get water into this casserole. If you're using a sling like I am, you do need to be mindful that your handles for your sling are not going to impede the steam from coming out or the valve from popping up or down. So ensure that there is a gap there right where it would be placed and the lid. And then take a look at your rubber ring inside and make sure that it's secure. As you can see, mine is not pushed down in from the last time I used it. So it's important that it's secured. Place your lid on and turn the handle so you hear the little ring or chime, and make sure that your valve is on a sealing position. Now turn your dial or press your button for pressure cook. We are going to want 22 minutes for the eggs to cook. And then press start on your Instant Pot. All right, my button has popped up and it's going to start cooking for 22 minutes. Since I have time while it's cooking, I'm going to show you a quick prep tip. I have grated extra cheese. I think I have 3 or 4 different types of cheese here, but I've put 1 cup in little baggies, and I've cooked some extra sausage because it's hard to cook only a 1/4 cup of sausage. So I've put them in bags as well, specifically the amount for this dish. Now I can freeze them all for next time. So my button has popped down and I'm turning the handle to take the lid off. Don't forget to store your lid right in the side of your Instant Pot handle. Once you take your casserole out, remove the lid or the tin foil. Now take a look at that. It smells wonderful and it's ready to eat. I am serving mine up with some avocado. My husband will be eating his with sriracha on top. There's plenty left for tomorrow or for other guests when we can have them. So as you can see, we have used between the two of us half of the casserole. I would say that this would feed 2 adults and 2 children just fine, or if you had 2 hearty eaters and 2 light eaters, it would be fine. Otherwise, I suggest just making 2 and stacking them on top of one another. Enjoy!